The shameless mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, has done it again. Yes, he's decided to force people to pay a ULEZ tax at funerals instead of allowing them to mourn in peace. This is a new level of insanity and irrational policy from the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan. So, this man who's decided to not listen to any of the concerns of people in the country and in the capital about his ULEZ policies, he's decided to expand it. And now we've discovered not only he's expanding it into places with no air pollution, like the almost countryside in Essex, Greater London. It's so Greater London that it's basically not London anymore. But this one is extremely concerning. New ULEZ cameras installed 150 yards away outside a cemetery in Upminster in Essex. So, one issue with this is that it's now forcing a lot of people who want to arrange funerals in peace and mourn and get a lot of people to go to church and go to the cemetery. They're going to get caught. A lot of people are not going to get their proper warning in advance. It's going to take a while for people to get used to it anyway. And the signs that he's put up in the area, like many other places, they're too vague. A lot of people are not going to know what's happening. So they're going to receive massive fines. But even if they knew, is this actually moral? That area, there's no traffic, there's no air pollution, it's not really dirty. The priority should be to sort out the London Underground, but we know he's not going to do anything about that. We have one person, as an example, John Tolley, who had to go to a funeral in that area, said it's about 100 or 150 yards from the entrance, the new camera. I was quite sad, really, to think that people visit the whole cemetery on a regular basis to see the graves, to see where their loved ones have ended up and have been buried. Some people visit more than once a week. And now he says a lot of people are now going to be in trouble. One thing that John mentioned was about loopholes. So a lot of people are now going to have to take longer journeys to drive around in order to avoid the ultra low emission zones, which, when you think about it, it defeats the purpose of creating clean air. You're going to have more people driving around, polluting the air. It's the idiocy of this mayor. John Tolley added that he had made a journey of nearly an hour using 2 local buses to avoid being charged. And you can also do it by driving around, basically a longer journey. He said it would take 10 or 15 minutes to drive from home to the cemetery. Luckily, he said the buses came one after the other, but the journey still took 45 minutes to an hour compared to 10 minutes. In outer London, the bus service are not as regular as they are in central London. So you could either take the bus, which again, as John said, the infrastructure is not really great, or even the trains that are terrible as well in the country, or you could drive around longer and park it further away, which means you're going to pollute the air and you're still going to be late, and it's just not convenient. We've got a spokesperson from the National Association of Funeral Directors saying, we need to make life easier for people, obviously, who are mourning, not harder. This cemetery serves not only a large community within London, but also communities in Essex, and of course, in other areas like Hertfordshire as well, all of whom would not only visit the cemetery to attend the funeral, but may return regularly to visit the grave of a loved one. She also said that with the various low emission zones in operation around the UK, all having their own set of rules and exemptions, it's challenging for any traveller to feel confident that they have mastered the rules, let alone someone who has lost a loved one and is therefore likely to be extremely distressed. Hopefully, compassion and fairness will prevail. This is a very good point, actually, because we do have a lot of clean air zones and low emission zones across the country, from Bristol, Birmingham to Glasgow and Cambridgeshire, Oxfordshire. The problem is each one of them has different rules and each one of them has different requirements and exemptions. So you might be able to drive in parts of the country, but if you then try to travel to London, for example, to attend a funeral, you're going to be in trouble. So it makes absolutely no sense. Why, if you're going to do something like this in the name of net zero, considering these sort of policies are centralized anyway, you've got a national, literally a legislation for net zero. I'm not advocating for this policy to be promoted everywhere, but I'm just saying if governments and politicians are doing it, it will make more sense to do a blanket policy across the country. Don't do it, but I'm just saying it will make more sense to have clean air zones equally everywhere if you're going to have different clean air zones. But the best solution is not to do it in the first place. I mean, that would make more sense. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. I'm Maya Tousi, and we are the media.